Nope. Still no. Okay, enough practicing. Hello there, YouTube. How you doing? My Kaylee7. Thank you for watching my last video there, the Switzerland shower showdown. Ended a little bit differently than you might have thought. Discretion is the better part of valor, isn't it? Gotta use your head. I don't want to end up in one of those Dave Chappelle skits when keeping it real goes wrong. I don't want to be one of those people. Alright, so let me tell you a story about a time when I did keep it real and it went wrong. How about that? I have to preface this by giving you another story. Here it is. So, I moved to Hawaii with my wife in the year 2000. It was June of 2000, June 30th to be exact. We moved there sight unseen because I got into a PhD program there. We had saved up the money, we had scoped out a hotel, and then when we got there, we put a container, by the way, we filled up a container with our car and everything we owned, we shipped it. And loaded ourselves, unloaded ourselves. It's quite an undertaking. So when we arrived, we didn't know anything. Quickly figured it out, had a place to live, da-da-da-da-da. So it's probably about, I don't know, a month into our time there. We went out to a nightclub, because that's what we did back then. We, occasionally went out to nightclubs for fun. Yeah. So we're in this nightclub and it was really packed with people, and the guy was playing this crappy music and he kept screaming in the microphone, "Who's horny?" And it just, people were just, you could only jump up and down, straight up and down, because there were so many damn people in the place. So we ended up leaving at like 1:30 in the morning. I think it was over that night. Yeah, I don't think the club stayed open much after that. But getting the car was a 1993 Jetta. Shipped it from Boston, as I said. We're at a red light of a weird kind of intersection with multiple lanes and stuff. But we're at a red light, just sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear, and we're sitting there. We're sitting there for a full 10, 15 seconds. Fully stopped, sitting there. We hear screech from behind. We brace ourselves. She was sitting kind of sideways to me with one leg crossed over the other, kind of. We were talking about how lame that dance place was. And all of a sudden, we braced ourselves for impact, and we got slammed from behind. This guy in a Chevy Tahoe Suburban type thing, big red one, came plowing into us. So I jumped out of the car, and I ran back, and I was mad. But the guy that got out was like 11 feet tall and just humongous, big, fat, pasty, white, bald guy. So I changed it, I flipped it, and I said, "Hey, are you all right?" He says, "Yeah, I'm fine." I said, "Good, all right, so let's do insurance." So he says, "Well, let's pull over to the side over there by the Hard Rock Cafe, and then we can do that over there where it's safer." I said, "All right, that sounds reasonable." So I got in the car and I started to drive over to the safe spot, and he took off like a bat out of hell. Went around to my left and just was going. So I immediately gunned it, and I was following him, and I said, "Lori, grab a pen, grab a pencil, grab something, write down this plate number." And I kept repeating it over and over and over again, which I can't remember now because that was like 19 years ago. But she's writing it down, and we're going, and this guy is blasting down the road like 90 plus miles an hour on these side streets in downtown Honolulu. And the side streets are lower than the main streets, so he's bouncing up and down, and we are too, but we're not as high up as he is. So we're scraping bottom every time. And I'm thinking, this guy's going to kill somebody. He's driving so dangerously, he's going to kill somebody. And we're going to mess up our car. I already have his license plate. I'm not going to make him stop. So I pulled over. Called the cops. They came. They went to his house because we had the plate and all that. He wasn't there. 3 days go by. He shows up at the police station with his car freshly clean. I mean, that thing didn't have a spot on it. So he, of course, denied it. And they said, is this the guy? I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah. Lori and I both said, yeah, that's him. This big, fat, pasty white guy. Never forget that name. And I'm standing there in the police station like, yep, that's him. And his girlfriend looks at me and she starts saying, I know this guy. He hangs out at the bar where I work over off the base. I know this guy. It's like, what, lady, you don't know me from a hole in the wall. And this guy's not waving at me either because he's a dick. All right, so anyway, I don't know you from a hole in the wall. So you can take that and stick it. I just moved here from Boston, you dummy. They charge him with, I don't know what crime it was. It was a crime. They didn't arrest him or anything. And then the trial date comes and passes because they keep postponing and postponing. Finally it gets there, and we were injured. And the prosecutor came out and asked us, were you guys injured? Because we were outside the courtroom. They didn't want us to go inside. I said, yeah, we were injured. So the prosecutor goes back in, comes out again, says, all right, we dropped the charges that we originally had, but we made new charges that are more serious because he left the scene of an accident where somebody was hurt. We said, oh, all right, well, great. So then, like 6 months goes by, another trial date comes. He's gone. He never showed up. He moved to Las Vegas. So I said, well, what are we going to do? What can we do? He said, nothing. We're not going to go through the process of trying to arrest this guy and extradite him for the crime that he's, under. So, bye. Okay. Well, that sucks. So then we spent the next 2 or 3 years fighting our insurance company because he was denying it was him. He said I didn't have any proof. So they were denying my claim. And then my insurance company was saying, you already know who it is, so go to his insurance. And I said, they're denying it, and I can't prove it. Therefore, I have coverage under my uninsured driver policy. So I had to fight them, go to court, get a lawyer, because my wife's back was all messed up and my shoulder was all messed up. So that was horrible, painful, and to this very day, my wife is suffering from serious pain and problems and had several operations, all because of this guy. All right, now cut to 2005. Now we're in Switzerland and this happens, and my gut reaction is to not kick this guy's butt who took the picture, because I know he didn't mean anything. He thought it was somebody else. It was a simple mistake. He was kind of a dumbass, and he didn't deserve to be beat up because he wasn't doing anything physically threatening. So that went by, and of course my wife held it against me. You should have defended me. You should have kicked his ass. I'm mad at you. You didn't kick his ass. You should have kicked his ass. Then 2006 rolls around, and this is where the problem happened. This is where I kept it real. I defended my wife's honor. I decided I'm going to punish this guy. I'm going to make this guy pay. And it ended up costing me way, 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 way more than if I had just let him go. All right, so here's what happened. I'm coming home from a Nine Inch Nails concert in 2006. It was right around July of 2006. And I'd lived in North Carolina for about a year, not quite a year. 1:30 in the morning, I'm driving home in my Volkswagen Golf in the left lane of a 2-lane highway going this way, 4-lane highway, 2 lanes this way, 2 lanes that way. And I'm going down the road, no problem. And it's pretty heavy traffic, but not so much that nobody's moving. And then I figure out why. It's because the left lane is closed ahead. Well, in Hawaii, when that happens, all the idiots get over as soon as possible, and it gums up the traffic, and then it makes everybody slow. I didn't want to do that. So what did I do? I figured, well, I'm going to do like I did in Hawaii. I'm going to get in the empty space that nobody's using and get over last second, which everyone that's watching this will get pissed off and say I'm an asshole, but that is the right way to do it. Look it up. It's the right way to do it. You people pulling over way early, you're causing all kinds of traffic jams because you don't want to be rude. It's not efficient. It causes traffic jams. It makes everybody wait longer. And when you get pissed off and you do road rage against somebody who's coming in last second, you're the dick. Look it up. All right, so I do this, and all of a sudden this car that's next to me, this Chevy Impala, he starts speeding up to not let me in. And he's beeping his horn, and he's screaming out his window, asshole. So my wife is looking at him. She's in the passenger side, and she's looking at him, and she's mouthing, or actually saying this. I can hear her, but he can see her. And she's saying, we are trying to merge. And then right as she said merge, he grabbed the wheel of his car, and he jerked it to the left, and he hit the back end of my car and pitted me, and I went sideways. And he kept going, but he was on the breakdown lane now because I was kind of in his lane sideways. So he decided to go around the breakdown lane, and I see his car go by in my headlights. So I'm thinking, this son of a bitch is not going to get away with the same shit that John Bannon fucking got away with. I'm going to defend the honor of my wife like I should have done maybe in Switzerland. Prove to her that I love her. And so I jumped out of the car because I thought my car was not drivable anymore because it sounded terrible when he hit me. So I jump out. I'm running down the road like Mel Gibson. And it's stop and go traffic. So he stops and he can't go anywhere. So I run up to his window and I start slapping on his window. I said, get the fuck out of your car, asshole. And he's looking at me all mean. Said, you want to hit me? You want to fucking fight? Come on. And he wouldn't get out. He would not get out, the pussy. Not for the life of him would he get out. Because, you know, here I am, a guy who can curl 50-pound dumbbells 30 times in a row slowly. I was jacked at that point. And I was like, get the fuck out of the car. Pardon my French. You're going to hear some bad language now because I'm depicting the event, you know. So, get the fuck out of the car, you motherfucker. He wouldn't get out. You fucking pussy. Get the fuck out of the car, you son of a bitch. He wouldn't get out. He would not get out. And I kept challenging him, and he wouldn't. So then he tries to go again. And when he slows down enough, I get in front of this car and I point at him. And I say, do not leave the scene of this accident. Well, now the guy makes this evil fucking face. And he guns the engine. And his car lurches forward. And I jump in the air. And next thing you know, I'm on the hood of his car. And he turns into the breakdown lane. And he's going 30, 40, 50 miles an hour down the breakdown lane. Swerving like this, trying to get me off of him. And I'm on the hood of the car like, what the fuck? I'm like, 10 seconds ago I was driving home having a nice day, and now I'm going to die.